Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. Scene Carter is more terrible, man. He's more astute, he's patient, and he's not messy. A genuinely huge record maker began settling on certain decisions about a vocalist he had sorting out of his studio when the ink was all dry. She was barely short of being lawful. Yet that didn't stop Tycoon. He got a kick out of the chance to test the new ability. He was examining her on a genuinely standard premise. Yet he was likewise engaged with the ongoing A-plus list vocalist who was in front of him consistently. And this could supposedly be Beyonce. Jay Z has been extremely quiet in the midst of this large number of claims about his long-lasting companion Diddy, and as per Jaguar Wright, that is on the grounds that Jay Z is a far more terrible beast. An upsettingly visually impaired thing as of late surfaced about how Jay Z purportedly laid down with a marked vocalist to his name when she was a minor and afterward renounced her profession when Beyonce found out anyway. The word on the road is that this lady isn't the main claimed casualty, and Jaguar is presently spilling the tea on everything Jay Z and Diddy share for all intents and purposes and leaving her be, because I won't quit coming. You can tell her that I'm not going to put a stop to Cassie's claim against Diddy. Jay Z is up next for openness. Very much like Panther Wright anticipated quite a while back when Jaguar first stood up against Jay Z. Individuals called her insane anyway, and her story is never different, and she's presently saying that Jay Z is much more terrible than Diddy. However, before we get into what Jaguar said, we want to discuss this new visually impaired thing that is getting out and about via online entertainment about artist Crown Marie, who was endorsed by Jay Z at age 16, and was found by s.a'd and afterward endorsed by Def Jam simultaneously. As Rihanna. s.a'd said in his journal that the mark that initially accepted TR would be a greater star anyway. Beyonce meddled and advised them to zero in on Rihanna. Reed said we had an in-house organization grandstand, and Beyonce turned out to be there with Jay Z headband. Marie Rihanna, a 4-year-old young lady bunch called Dark Butterfly and Neo, performed at the name. We figured Crown Marie would be a major star. We invested more energy in her, accomplished more work on her, and focused closer on her. A chime went off for me anyway when, after the feature, Beyonce came dependent upon me and said that Rihanna's a monster, as indicated by this visually impaired thing. Dee did this and she figured out Jay Z was playing with Crown, the visually impaired thing claims. s.a'd likewise laid down with a Crown when he found her psyche. Reed is 31 years more established than Headdress, and afterward Headdress was supposedly offered to Beam, who was involved in this obscure business of exploring and controlling youthful female craftsmen as per the visually impaired. Beyonce then, at that point, dominated and carried Crown to Jay Z's consideration. Soon, she was offered to this Puto corn star, and big name King can likewise speculate on that one. He adores controlling weak ladies, it is his specialty at any rate. He began controlling the profession of this vocalist. He carried her to the consideration of this A-plus list rapper and magnate. Supposedly, Jay Z, Beyonce, and Crown began dating in 2006, and this is fascinating on the grounds that Jay Z unexpectedly dropped headband from his mark that very year. Soon after Crown turned 16, Jay Z marked her to death, and she delivered her most memorable collection. Rockefeller Records presents Headdress Marie in August 2005. The collection was a triumph, arriving at number 5 on the Bulletin 200 and number 2 on the top R&B and hip jump collections graph. The next year, Crown began dealing with her second collection, yet the creation was out of nowhere, halted in the center. Headband got a call from the name just before her secondary school graduation, telling her they were dropping her, and Crown said she at no point ever heard from Jay Z in the future. I'm presently not on the mark since, well, to be completely forthright with you, I don't have the foggiest idea why I'm as of now not on the name yet. I realized that I just got some much needed rest to complete everyday schedule, and afterward, amidst that I was in Detroit and, I just got a call like I assume I was preparing for prom or something. And they resembled, you realize we will let you go. You're youthful. You have a splendid future in front of you. Realize the W talk. And, that is. How it happened, I was stunned, I was miserable in light of the fact that Jay didn't call me himself. Jay Brown called me, and I was, befuddled in light of the fact that I didn't have the foggiest idea why, as per Crown, Jay Z at first depicted himself as a mentor, but he cut her. With not an obvious reason he resembled a mentor at the time, however. At the present time, I can't say that since you realize I don't converse with him any longer and he didn't call me and let me know bye. So you know now this is fascinating in light of the fact that in her claim against Diddy, Cassie said Diddy behaved like the equivalent when they initially met, underlining the age and power dynamic from the get-go in their functioning relationship. Mr. Combs situated himself as a mentor and defender of Miss Ventura in any case. As per the visually impaired thing, Jay dropped crown since he was laying down with her, and Beyonce figured out on top of that Ray J was purportedly frantic in light of the fact that he needed TR for himself, so Jay dropped her as fast as he marked her that, as well as supposedly boycotted her and obstructed her profession when the ink was all dry. She was barely short of being lawful, yet that didn't halt a tycoon. He jumped at the chance to test the new ability. He was examining her on a genuinely normal premise. However, he was likewise engaged with the current A+ list artist who was in front of him consistently, and this could purportedly be Beyonce thing however, that cornstar accountable for her profession was quarreling with the big shot and told the magnate he wouldn't be permitted to attach with the vocalist again. I expect he figured the tycoon would think she was something uniquely amazing, obviously not quite as extraordinary as the ongoing act. Plus, show her on the grounds that the new S was dropped and the word was placed out on the road, no record bargains for her from any mark in the wake of getting dropped from Dayjam Headdress, fostered a substance issue and invested some energy in recovery, which many accept as a result of engaging in the business very early on. However, to Ciara isn't the main young lady Jay Z was blamed for preparing. He was purportedly engaged with Saucy Earthy Colored when she was only 14, and he likewise met Beyonce when she was 16 and he was 28. There have additionally been tales flowing for quite a long time that Jay's was associated with Aaliyah's demise. Since she dismissed his advances, we realize that Jay-Z was exceptionally close with R. Kelly, and as per Aaliyah's ex-woman Run, even after Jay learned about Kelly trying Aaliyah and illicitly wedding her at 15, he would not cut attaches with him. It previously obliterated, however. At that point, years after the fact, they attempted to do the visit, the best of the best. Better believe it, however, it actually didn't end up working yet. On the off chance that you notice, I wasn't a piece of any of that yet. And the karma happens yet. What I didn't comprehend is I rest. Bold, I know I'm not with that, and in light of the ethical test and him picking one way, I knew ethically we weren't the disgrace woman. Run additionally said Jay-Z made a good attempt to get with Aaliyah anyway. She wasn't keen on him. She appreciated that each time Aaliyah went to these industry parties, Jay-Z was around anyway, regardless of how enthusiastically he attempted. Aaliyah preferred Lady Run, so Jay purportedly concluded Beyonce ought to take as much time as is needed. Jay-Z likewise began quarreling with women. Furthermore, everything ended in 2001 when Aaliyah unfortunately died in a plane accident in the Bahamas. That very year, Jay and Beyonce unveiled their relationship, and under a year after the fact, Jay-Z delivered his joint collection with R. Kelly in the smartest possible situation. Now that R. Kelly's violations were uncovered, Jay-Z's PR group supposedly endeavored to cover all hints of their kinship anyway. Individuals who were there to observe this, like Jaguar Wright, would not be hushed, and he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making such countless records together. You realize they made a multitude of records together. The two of them, shared such a huge amount in like manner. No one talks about that. No one talks about this, and no one talks about that project swept that smooth under the street. Panther guaranteed that Jay-Z was desirous that Aaliyah picked Woman Run. And remember that Jaguar showed up as a foundation vocalist on Jay-Z's MTV Turned Off in 2001? That very year, Aya kicked the bucket. And at the point when Jay-Z was recording the smartest possible situation with R. Kelly, she probably saw a great deal. By the way, wasn't this Inside and Out when Aaliyah passed on? Definitely. And Beyonce's performance vocation was battling Jam on Your Horn. Now that the bull record from the Austin Power was a portion of the most terrible ever, they were having a hard time.